Hello everybody, welcome to Dandelion Cottage. It's Marvelous Monday. And I'm Leslie Watkins. Thank you for joining me today. I'm going to make a cute little gift box, and I'm just going to use all the things that I find on my desktop. It's getting to be one of those days where I really have to stop everything that I'm doing and begin to clean up because it's looking like a tornado went through here. So I had the idea. There's some nice little odds and ends that I thought would come together nicely to decorate a box. So that's what we're going to do today. And I'm also going to fill it later today with some homemade cookies. And I'm going to bring it to a neighbor. So that might be a fun idea that you may want to do too. So here we go. I'm going to turn you down. So these are some of the things that I had on my desk that I thought would be fun to use. And if you'd like to make a comment or ask a question, please do so down below. While I'm filming, I can't see your comments, but I do love to see them afterwards, and I answer all of them. So let me know that you're here and that you're watching. So what I've got is I've got some peacock feathers. So these are just a couple of segments of the longer feather, but I thought that these fun streamy bits might be nice to use. And then I've got this. These are my extra special peacock feathers. These are these tiny little miniature versions. And I love to use these on cards and boxes. And then this is like a neck chest feather with the beautiful blue. And then I have an assortment of gold foil die cuts. So these little center pieces are from, let me get my, so those come from this set, Good Morning Magnolia and the Magnolia Memory dies. So I'm using these little starry pieces that are for the center of the flowers. And I think that's all I'm using from that set. And then I'm using the dies from Nature's Thoughts, and I'm using these two for the flower, and I'm using this beautiful dahlia flower. So what I've got here are a couple of dahlia flowers stamped and die cuts, and this one is crushed curry with tone-on-tone stamping, and this one is the Cajun craze on the crushed curry. And actually what I did was I went into these places with my snips after I die cut it, and I just freed up some of these petals like so that I could curl them up. So if you take your bone folder, you can just give that a little curl, and it helps to give them a more natural look. And I'm going to double these up. These little gold foil flowers are from the Small Bloom Punch. Everyone should have one of these. I'm going to be offering a class in this coming up where I have a bundle where you can get one of these punches and get a free stamp set. So look for that. If you're interested in some of my online classes, please go to my website at dandelioncottagedesign.com and subscribe to Notes, and you will get a full listing of all the upcoming classes at the beginning of each month. And then I have this little decoration that I punched out with the sprig punch. And finally, I have the Label Me Fancy Punch that I put my sentiment on, and then I added some gold foil to the edges, and I gave it a little bit of a bow using the bone folder. So this is going to be a really quick video today. I'm not going to show you how I did all the stamping and die cutting. I'm just going to assemble the box. And for the box base, I will be using one of these ready-made golden mini pizza boxes. And these are great because they actually have a food-safe surface on the inside so that you can put fudge or cookies or, you know, whatever you like in there. And they just look great all year round, from Christmas to birthdays to, like I'm doing today, just I miss you. Okay, so we're going to start with the base. So I have these layers, and these are just 1/4 inch smaller as they go up. So this one is this is a 3 1/4 square. This is a 3 inch square, and this is should be a 2 3/4. All right, and I'm just going to glue those down to form my little platform for my decorations. Now, if you don't have access to peacock feathers, you can use whatever you can find around. I live with 2 peacocks, frankincense and myrrh, and every year they drop their feathers, and I go out and I collect them, and then I soak them, I wash them, I dry them, and then I store them to use for craft projects. But if you've got chickens, you know that your roosters have some spectacular feathers that would make great additions to your projects. Okay, so there we go. That's our base. And then for the background, I want to use this one. So I'm just going to snip that. Like so. And then I'm using glue dots to adhere these down. The glue dots are perfect for this sort of thing. They really work well on things that have a texture to them, and they're very strong and very permanent. So I'm going to take a couple, and I'm just going to place this at an angle, like so. And I'm going to take a couple of these swirly ones. So I'm just going to pull those apart. And adhere those together with a glue dot. This is going to be a very extravagant little box. Get that glue dot off my thumb. Put that there. There you go. then I'm going to add my spectacular eye feather right about there. So I'll trim that down. I'm just going to pull off some of this fluff. And I'll put one of the glue dots towards the top and one towards the bottom so it doesn't turn or twist. There we go. And then I want some of this blue, but I don't need all of this fuzz. There we go. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Actually, I think I would like a little more of these long ones, so I'm just going to take some glue dots. Take 2 will be plenty. Okay, and now I can take a few more of these and just put them right in there. There we go. All right, now I'm going to clean up the excess. All right, so the next bigger thing, so I tend to work from the largest to the smallest. So the next thing I want is this Dahlia and the center. And I want this to have some height. So I'm going to grab some dimensionals. I'm going to put this in the center on the bottom one, and then I'm going to offset this so that I see a lot of those petals underneath there. Give those a little curl. Okay, and then for the center, I'm going to take another dimensional, put that right in there, like so, and I've kind of bowed this foil so that makes a nice little domed effect, and I'm pushing all these little things up. And that dimensional is going to help to create a little pillow to make sure that that stays popped up. So that's my big decoration. And I will place that also on a dimensional. So basically I've got 3 3 layers of dimensional for this little ornament, which is going to give it a lot of nice height. Okay, and now the rest of it is really just adding these other little decorative elements. So I'm going to use glue dots to attach the sprig. I'm going to let that come off in this direction. And I want that to have a little bowed effect as well. And then these things are great. I'm going to take the larger shaped star, and I'm just curling up those edges a little bit. I'm going to place that right up in this corner. I'll add my flower onto that. And I've bent up those petals a little bit so it's a little more dimensional. And then, I'm missing one of my decorations. Okay, well, I'm just going to take this center and curl up these little stamens like so. Take another glue dot, put that right in the center, and that gives me a very nice fancy little flower with a lot of texture in it. Here's my other one. So this one, I'm going to tuck in under here and simply repeat the same process. Make sure that these petals are curving up like a little bowl. Put that in there. My center. Okay, now we're starting to get something fancy. Now I have this sentiment. This is also from the Good Morning Magnolia stamp set. And it is available in a suite, and it's available also as a bundle with the dies, and you can save some money if you get it that way. And this I want to have tucked under here to cover up the ends of my feathers. So I'm just going to take 2 more dimensionals, and I'm just putting them in the center. And I'm going to pull this up so I can get under there. There we go. Okay, now The mini pizza boxes are really easy to put together. Just clean this mess up. So all you do for these, they're already cut out and scored. So you just take all your score lines and fold them in like so. These are great if you're in a hurry and you just need a little box real fast. Then bend the tabs in. And these tabs go right into those slots on the bottom that holds it steady. This folds over and it just snaps right into place. And then it tucks in like so. Okay, and I want to put some ribbon on here to close this. So I have some of this is the crinkled seam binding ribbon, and this is in crushed curry. And I'm going to need plenty because I want it to go around, and I want to tie a bow, and I want it to be reusable, so I want there to be plenty left over. And what I'm going to do to adhere that down is I'm going to figure out, I think I want this to go like that. So taking my double-sided tape, I'm going to run a little strip along the lower portion of my platform. I call it a platform. I guess it's really my layer. All right, and then I'm just going to adhere that down there. The whole thing is going to get glued onto the lid of the box. Now I'm using the liquid glue again, staying away from the edges. Just get that right in the center. And you have a minute before the glue sets up so you can get it just how you like it. And for the final decoration, let me see, I have these new gilded gems. So these are these golden gems that coordinate perfectly with the gold foil and the gold box. So I'm going to use a couple of those. And I'm going to try the big ones for the centers of the flowers. And these already have a glue dot attached to the bottom of them. And then I'll put one smaller one on my label. All right, well, that is a very fancy little box. So I'm just going to tie this to the side to keep it closed. I'm just going to let this be a big floppy bow. That's why I like this seam binding so much, because you can just do these beautiful soft floppy embellishments. And there you have it. A very fancy, glitzy, thinking of you cookie box. So, thank you so much for joining me today. Please subscribe to Notes from Dandelion Cottage, and that will give you access to my upcoming online classes. I appreciate hearing all your comments and love answering your questions, so if there's anything at all you'd like to ask me, please write it in the comments below. Visit my website, and I will see you on Wednesday for Watercolor Wednesday, when I paint a specimen from the garden. So thanks again for joining me. Stay in, stay well, and stay creative. That's all for now. Bye.